This video is an early analysis primarily focusing on Tingyun's potential and what she brings to the table when pairing her up with Jingliu. Are they a best match? Unlike my previous video on Blade, Tingyun does not have any concerns when pairing up with any damage dealer in the game, let alone Jingliu. In fact, she is such a highly sought after asset, almost every damage dealer is basically thirsting for a Tingyun. Why is that? Tingyun, is the only support character in the game with a very unique mechanic that no other characters have. This unique mechanic is her energy regen manipulation. An ulti is not something that can be used every turn, and characters need to reach their energy threshold to use their ultis. Some characters have higher energy threshold than others. The three characters with the highest energy cost being Imagine Dragon, QQ, and Yang. We technically don't know Jingliu's energy cost, but let's assume it's at the highest of 140. 140 is extremely high. In a non-memory of chaos setting, when characters start off with 0 energy, any character will struggle to reach 140 energy. For those of you who had a little birdie tell you how much energy regen Jingliu's skill gives, you can do the math yourself. It would take Jingliu years to recharge her ulti from 0. If there are no concerns with Tingyun and Jingliu pairing, then why else do I think this pairing works? Let's go through Tingyun's competition. So who are the harmony characters in this game? Number 1, we have Asta. Don't get me wrong, Asta is amazing. I always call Asta the speed demon. She has attack percent boost just like Tingyun. One can even argue that Asta brings more attack percent benefits to the entire team, since Tingyun can only buff one teammate, while Asta's kit benefits the entire team. So where does Asta fall short against Tingyun? For starters, SP. It takes an Eidolon 6 Asta to be in the same conversations with Tingyun in terms of being SP positive. Asta needs to constantly use her skill to maintain her stacks. Her Eidolons do help, but that is very situational. There's a reason Imagine Dragon wants Tingyun on his team over Asta. Tingyun, on the other hand, only needs to use her skill once every 3 turns. For the remaining turns, she is free to generate SP. For reference, all of Asta's Eidolons only makes Asta feel much more comfortable playing her. It helps her become more SP positive, and even then she is nowhere near as SP positive as Tingyun. If I use E6 Asta to compare, it is only fair to discuss what E6 Tingyun brings. E6 Tingyun provides more speed, a slightly higher energy regen for allies when they defeat an enemy, more damage, and most importantly, the 50 energy regen on her ulti becomes 60. If Jingliu does have a 140 energy cost, then an E6 Tingyun can fill up 42% of it. So if you have to choose, A, extra speed from Asta's ulti, allowing her to attack maybe once or twice, or B, your Jingliu gets 60 energy regen to fill up 42% of her ulti cost. Which one will you pick? I know most of you will probably pick B. Tingyun beating out Asta is as expected. That was the easy one. That was like asking whether you prefer having prime Michael Jordan or Dylan Brooks on your team. So who else is Tingyun's competition? Enter Bronya. Bronya is literally the chosen one for Honkai Star Rail. This game has been out for months, and she is still the only 5-star harmony character. Jingliu has been getting slanders thrown at him every patch, from Blade to Kafka, and don't even mention Imagine Dragon. Bronya, a standard banner character, is sitting pretty on her throne. Her only real competition is a 4-star Fox Girl. I like to say that comparing a 5-star character against a 4-star character is a little bit unfair. So before I start, I would like to say if you have both Tingyun and Bronya, then you basically have your hyper carry Jingliu comp right there and then. Okay. Why Tingyun over Bronya for Jingliu pairing? This may blow you away. Some of us are not as fortunate to have a Bronya on our account. Some people keep getting Bailu's, other people keep getting Himegos. I keep getting Clara. And for those truly unfortunate souls, they keep getting Yang. Number 2, we come right back to SP. This game starts you off with 3 SP, maybe 4 if you're running that healer set. But let's be honest, I doubt most of you are. If there's a gold standard to SP positive characters, it would be Tingyun, right at the top with Pella and Lord Cha right behind her. Bronya is not even in the same atmosphere of Tingyun when it comes to the subject of SP positive. Number 3, she needs speed tuning, whereas you don't need to worry about speed tuning for Tingyun. The 2 ways of playing Bronya in simplified terms are fast Bronya and slow Bronya. Fast Bronya means your Bronya has to be much faster than your Jingliu. Slow Bronya means your Bronya has to be slower than your Jingliu. When Bronya uses her auto attack, that also changes things. For you people who keep talking to that little birdie, you may know something about Jingliu's speed. It becomes much more difficult to control the character's rotations with these variables. Tingyun on the other hand just need you to just apply her skill to Jingliu, and once Tingyun's ulti is up, use it. Then every 3 turns, use her skill again. Rinse, repeat, victory. Simple, right? I like to repeat this again. It is a bit unfair to compare a 4-star character against a 5-star character. So let's talk about Bronya's biggest advantage. Her skill, which is a unique mechanic that no other characters have in this game. Bronya's skill allows her to select a target and that target can attack again, while slightly getting a damage buff. I'm not going to sit here and praise how insane turn manipulation is in a turn-based combat system. We all know how broken that mechanic is. Her damage boost on her skill only lasts 1 turn. For characters such as Jingyuan or Clara, it is not as helpful. Remember, her skill cost is 1 skill point, and Jingliu will also need to use her skill, so that's another cost you have to take into consideration. You do not want to use your Bronya skill on Jingliu only to find out you have 0 skill points left, so you are forced to use the basic attack of shame. That's it. Those are the only flaws that I can nitpick. What do you want from me? Bronya is a broken character. Let's shift our focus back to Tingyun. As mentioned briefly in the Asta and Bronya segment, Tingyun is the gold standard of SP positive characters. She requires 1 skill point every 3 turns. She would be using her other turns to generate SP for your entire team to use. The following point is pure speculation with a touch of educated guess. The same little birdie that you guys have been talking to also told me that maybe Tingyun is on Jingliu's banner. We don't even need to take the little birdie's word for it. Let's look at the feature 4 stars that Tingyun has been on. She's only been on 1, the Jingyuan one. That makes it 6 banners since her appearance. Yes, I said 6. Silverwolf, Lord Child, Blade, Kafka, Imagine Dragon, and Lady Fu. Let's dive deeper into this. Fushun's banner features Pella, Hook, and Lynx. Barbe de Lunay's banner features Yukong, Asta, and March 7th. We can safely cross out these 6 characters from Jingliu's banner. There are 15 4-star characters in this game currently. 14 in this case because we don't have to worry about Herda. I pity players who will end up pulling on a banner that will have Herda as a feature 4-star. Of those 14 characters, we have crossed out 6 of them. That means there are only 8 left. Without taking appearance frequency into account, that is a solid 29%, close to 30% of it being Tingyun. Her case only looks better when we do take appearance frequency into account. Most of us Tingyun users should know about the Tingyun experience. I don't know the exact odds of 3 enemies hitting the same member on my team, but I'm convinced it's somewhere in the 50% range. I keep looking up the aggro value of Harmony characters and comparing that with the Preservation characters. Something just doesn't add up. The math isn't mathing. I think I'm going crazy. I used to have Fire MC with the taunt skill up, and I still see my Tingyun getting clapped. Why am I saying all of this? That is because I know every single one of you who has gone through the same Tingyun experience is now building HP on your Tingyun. And for those of you who are not building HP on your Tingyun, plus she is not getting clapped, congratulations. You've been playing a much different game than the rest of us. With that, I assume most players built up Tingyun has HP, so she can tank a few more hits even from her own teammates. In summary, here are the points I have addressed. Number 1, Tingyun's ulti will be a game changer for any damage dealer, not just Jingliu. Assuming Jingliu has the highest energy cost of 140, Tingyun's ulti can reduce the number of turns it will take Jingliu to get her ulti. Number 2. Tingyun outperforms her competition in the Harmony class. Asta uses more SP. In fact, Asta needs to be Eidolon 6 to be comfortable SP wise, whereas Tingyun is already an SP battery at E0. E6 Tingyun brings many more benefits compared to E6 Asta. Tingyun's ulti provides 50 energy, 60 if you're Eidolon 6, and provides a substantial damage buff, while Asta's ulti provides speed that may get Jingliu one more attack. The choice here is obvious. Tingyun's last competition is Bronya. Bronya is way less accessible to players, requires speed tuning, eats up SP, and her skill damage buff only lasts for one turn. Number 3. Tingyun has a very high chance to be on Jingliu's banner. Number 4. Most of us have already built a Tingyun with some HP, so she will fit perfectly into Jingliu's HP requirements for her team, or at least come very close to it. Overall, I think Tingyun and Jingliu are a great match. They might even be the best match. Where there is a Jingliu, there should be a Tingyun. But let's just say maybe Jingliu is an alpha. She doesn't just have one best match, she has several best matches. Who knows? It could be a certain leader of Bellabog, or maybe even a very sus man with amazing hair. That's a topic for another time. If you watched this far, thank you. Like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if you disagree with every single word I have said. Subscribe if it's convenient for you, it means a lot to me. If you disagree with anything I have said, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. I will try to respond to all comments. Thanks for watching and bye bye.